guys, you can't judge me on this because I don't do a lot of rebar stuff. We sell rebar in cuts, you know, just straight pieces, but we don't do a lot of forming and making the cages and stuff like that. But this is one we're doing some other work on the project, so the GC asked us to do this, so I said yes. Sometimes you should just learn to say nope. So what we're doing, I call them top hats. We've dealt with them before, I know what they are, but most of the time I watch the concrete guys make them. And basically it's a top hat because it's got this piece and you can't see, and there's some dimensions missing, so we're kind of guessing on some of this stuff just based on the piers, which are the concrete part, on what these sizes need to be. They give you a call out, they tell you what it is, of course, number 4 rebar, which is 1/2 inch, and then they tell you the bottom flanges are 8 inches. So I just took a ruler on a larger scale printout and just kind of estimated what these other numbers were and kind of referenced those back to the actual footing or the pier sizes. So you've got basically, I drew it out over here, you've got, and you might be able to see it, but you've got a 8-inch piece here, and then 90 as it goes up 18 inches across 10, back down 18 and back over. So it looks like a top hat. And we've got 35 of these to make. And then once you have all these made, you have these mats that are just 4 pieces of rebar, the size of the footing. And then all this gets tied together. You have a mat on the bottom, a mat on the top, and then you've got bands that go around these. So you have 3 of these top hats stacked or spaced evenly with a mat woven in there. And then you also have 2 bands, which are these pieces here, that they're gonna form on site. I'm just trying to do this to help it speed them up, but the bands they'll make on site, just because that way they can make them exactly what size they need to be. So we've got all the rebar for them. We're providing all these pieces, but they're gonna cut it all on site just so they can get it exactly what it needs to be as far as size. We're just trying to get these top hats made to speed it up a little bit. But we're gonna make 35 of these. Like I said, don't judge me. I know there's rebar benders and tools you can use that some people might be quicker, but for me, I'm gonna make one out of this. I've actually got a drop piece here, and I'm gonna cut it. I think it was 62 inches was the total. I'm figuring I'm not really gonna lose a lot in the bends. Not that it's, you know, not enough to make it critical. So I'm gonna cut it 62 inches, and I'm gonna make this one piece here as my jig, and then I'll set pins here and I'll tack them to the table. And then I'll cut all my pieces and I'll heat and bend with a torch. For me, I believe that's gonna be quicker. Instead of trying to go buy a rebar bender, because like I said, we don't do a lot. So that's where we're at. Like I said, you can kind of see here, if I get a little bit closer, you can see the outline of the top hat, just kind of mixed in with all these other pieces. But like I said, they leave out some dimensions because I don't know how wide this is here across the top. I don't know how tall it is. We know that the footing is 24 inches, but then there's a pier that sits on top of that where the anchor bolts go. And the GC is getting the anchor bolts. We were going to get those, but the lead time was 4 to 5 days on our vendor. He found somebody that had some leftover bolts that he thinks is gonna work. So, all right, let's cut this piece and we'll try it first, see if we can bend the 490s, make this top hat, and then once we do that, we'll set up a jig and go cut all of it. So what I'm gonna do on this first one, I'm just gonna mark 8 inches from each end. That's for my 2 bottom flanges that bend out 90. And then, so at 62, I'm gonna go to 31, mark the middle, and then I guess we'll just do 5 inches each direction to make our 10. Like I said, I know somebody's got a better way to do this. I know this may not be 100% correct, but it's rebar going in concrete. Nobody's ever gonna see it, but I will know. So try to get it as close as possible. So I'm just gonna manually bend this for this first one. Then after that, we should be able to just bend them on the actual table. It helps if you turn it on there, Matthew. The key on this piece here, which is the jig, which will end up being used as one of the 35 once we're done. But this allows us to set up the pins for the bends. But the key is to focus that heat on one small little spot. Because if you move it around, it messes up your bend. And the other thing you want to do is the other thing you want to be sure of is make sure that your bends are the same as flat. So everything lays flat on the table. And I'm just checking it with a frame and square to make sure it's 90. See how those kick up? We'll have to flatten all that out. Still got some heat to it. Actually goes pretty easy. And there you go. So that takes a little bit longer. Once I set up 4 pins and basically put them on the inside of these bins. And then should be good. Probably actually just use these 4 little pieces of square tube I was using the other day. So basically I'll just tack these right there, tack these right there, and I'll cut my piece 62. I'll have a mark in the center, I'll get it centered, and then I may actually put some clamps there or something to hold it, because if you, when you heat it and want to pull this down, it'll want to pull that over, so you want to clamp that there. And then probably what I'll do is bend it, pick it up and set it over, and then bend this one or bend them at the same time, set them over in here, make sure that's good. Sometimes you have to tap it, and then heat these and bend them out. So let's go cut 34 more of these. So we're over in the cut shop. We've got the stopper set up, which allows me not to have to measure. Once I set it, lock it in, I can cut 2 at a time. Probably could cut more, but that's all I'm gonna do. So I can only get 3 out of each piece, I think it is. Sucks, but. Don't ever record much in here cutting stuff, so I figured I'd show you all what we used to cut this machine. I think this was literally like one of the first things I bought when I got the last shop. Trying to think what year. If I bought that when I moved there in 13, it's 13 or 14 when I moved into the old Matco shop, the actual shop we bought, not the first one we rented, but this was one of the first things I bought. Like I said, it's the Ellis 2000, runs a 12-foot by 1-inch blade, and the capacity is 11-inch round at 45, 11-inch round at 90, 17-inch flat at 90, 7-inch round at 60. And it's a hoss. This thing's absolutely amazing. Knock on wood. Knock on wood, the only thing I've had to replace, and these kind of wear out quite often, probably twice a year, once a year maybe I replace these. Don't know how much you're cutting, but the bearing kit, you can order that. I want to say it's like 100 to 150 bucks for the kit. You get this wheel, both of the side wheels for both of these, so you get a whole set. These aren't really the ones that wear out. It's these that wear out, and then when it does, you'll start getting a little bit of tilt on the blade, and it'll cut crooked. And so other than that, I think that's it. This I've rebuilt probably 2 or 3 times, I'm guessing. That needs a rebuild now. And basically it just starts to leak down. It just won't hold. You see how far that up? So it doesn't stop. It'll go down. It's not bad, but it needs a rebuild. And then they changed the design. It used to have and I think I still have it. It's the old sliding style. So this, it still mounts on here the same, but instead of having the turn, you'd basically take this, push it up against your material, slide it, and then pull back on a little lever and lock it. So it's kind of a little quicker, but it doesn't hold as well either. So, but I love this thing, man. It's, like I said, it's not liquid cooled. But in my opinion, it does amazing. I've actually gotten written up there. So in June, I put a blade on and we cut a lot of stuff. I didn't change it until September. Most of that was probably me cutting, and I'm kind of very peculiar about how it runs, but now I'm very efficient with it as well. You see, I put it on the 18th and another one on the 19th. That's because it got broke. The blade broke, but I wrote on there 200 cuts. So I ran a blade. That was when we were doing, if you go back and watch our video last month, we were doing the angle embeds, and I had to do, matter of fact, I've still got all that laying right there. That's all from it. So I had about 200 cuts on that blade. So not sure what happened to it, but normally it lasts longer than that. So this one is the one I put on the 19th. So we're going on a month now, and we cut a massive amount of stuff. So there's 30 pieces, 62 inches long. What I'll do is mark one, and I'll make a stopper down there to bump them against. Oh, not 30. 31. Double check. Yep. So I'll make a mark here. So let me get these tacked on first. Tack on these little square tubes where I'm gonna bend it. And I will have to put just a little stitch on those, because if you don't, they'll pop off. That tack's just not enough to hold them. Even with heating them, and once you put a little force on them, they'll pop. So I'll just put a little stitch on each one of those. Now I'll mark the center right here somewhere, and then make a stopper. Doesn't matter what. Tack it to the table. Just use one of these. And that'll go there. That'll be my stopper. I slide it to it, and I know where the center is. Heat, heat, bend, heat, heat, bend. So my piece is centered. I got my stopper here, so I just take this, bump it to it, perfectly centered. Yep, 26 and 3/16. Let's just double check, make sure this one's right. Yep. there's one. And that took less than 2 minutes. A little bit of a kink in there, but I believe that worked out pretty good. Pretty much identical.
I'm a trendsetter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a trendsetter. Okay, let go. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Trying to go against us, get you out the way. Go hard, it's the only way to play. Let me say, I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Who can do it better? I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Hey, look, they keep calling me, could you ride this beat? Look, probably. Okay, it ain't no problem. See, I can mold this thing like pottery. Better than I'ma bet on myself. And before the top, and I don't need your help. We set the tempo, we run this thing as simple. Let's go. Boy, I'm locked in. Know your place, I'm top 10. And all my haters watching, so you know I keep on clocking. Let's go time. My whole style of go. Mine. Take my place, I hold mine. Run up, then it's go time. It's show time. Whoa. Yeah, they know I'm the one that set the trends, y'all. Tell them tenfold, I'm gonna change the tempo. Okay. Tell them I can't play it safe. Got more wins on the way. Gotta show them how to do it. Man, my team making plays. Okay, your team better play off. Sleeping on me, wake up. Too easy just to lay off. Okay, tell me who you know can do it better. I know, they know, we know I'm a trendsetter. Hey, okay, I know I'm here to stay. Counting on my wins, so I can't play it safe. Trying to go against us, get you out the way. Go hard, it's the only way to play. Let me say, I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Who can do it better? I'm a go-getter. I'm a trendsetter. Hey, look, told them I would elevate, now watch me go up. Critics acting all confused, they can watch me blow up. Knew I had it in the bag, I just had to show up. Shot it going outside, got no plans to slow up. Okay, mama said I'd make it, then I know that she ain't never lied.
Exactly 1 hour is what it took. 2 minutes a piece, pretty much. A little bit less. There's 34 of them. I already had one bent, so I did 33 in an hour. So just a hair under 2 minutes a piece. They're ready to go. I'm gonna let them cool off because they're all still hot, and the table is extremely hot. So I'm gonna let that cool off before I go to messing with this and cutting. I'm 8 inches away right there, and I can feel the heat like an oven. So she's hot. I'm gonna let that cool off. Eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Go get some steps in. And I'll come back and cut these off. Actually, what I may do is just load these up. I got to take them today. Take them today and deliver them along with the other 28 sticks of rebar that they're going to use to cut and make the mats. So I'll cut that on site. And then, like I said, the bands for these as well. So that's all for that. That's a little bit of a rebar forming. And they'll put it all together on site and make the cages. So that's it for the rebar. We will catch y'all in the next video.